Whatu naro te tangata, Toitū te whenua. As man disappears from sight, the land remains.
In Aotearoa, New Zealand, every mountain or moka, river or awa, and coastline or takutai moana carries a name, and with these names are the stories. Toitū te whenua is a journey into the heart of these stories, uncovering the deep cultural, historical, and spiritual significance of Māori place names across the motu. Through the voices of local rūnaka, we will uncover how names are more than markers, and how they are living connections to whakapapa, whenua, and te reo Māori in modern times. In each episode, we invite viewers to see the land not just as geography, but as a narrative woven through generations. Join us as we explore the meaning behind the names, the people who carry them, and the enduring relationship between language and land. This is Toitū te whenua, e kōrero ana te whenua, e whakarongo ana mātou, where the land speaks and we listen. In this episode of Toitū te whenua, we continue our journey through the place names of Te Waipounamu to learn more of their origins. Matapura Ellison's pepeha leaves no doubt that we are in Kaitahu country. He has named Aoraki Mount Cook as his moka, the towering peak that stands above all else in Te Waipounamu.
Ko Aoraki te mauka, ko Waitaki te awa, ko te tai o Areituru, te takutai whenua, ko Matapura hau. Well, the reference to Aoraki has a larger backdrop. In the context of our Kaitahu iwi, it's recognised as our tribal moka, so the moka which we all gather under, sheltered by Aoraki. Of course, Aoraki itself has his parenthesis in a very large kōrero, which was about the creation of Te Waipounamu, really. But in a modern geopolitical context, it's the bastion of kaitahutanga, being the largest moka in the land, and therefore we fly that flag as a point of tribal mana.
The pepeha then begins to zoom in and names Waitaki as we move south, and then Te Tai o Ārai, placing the focus squarely on a stretch of the southeast coast.
In the context of the pepeha, it's a reflection of a kotahitanga between the three marae of Ārai, of the Ārai rohe, Otakou, Puketeraki and Moeraki, and that's essentially reflecting some commonality, political commonality, and some historical commonality as well. Largely, it's the area from the Waitaki River southward. Some would say to Long Point in the Catlins. A general description. It was really Hore Kare Tairoa, or HK Tairoa, who gave it life in his time as a way to recognise our three close marae.
HK Tairoa was already in Parliament at this stage and was a significant leader among Southern Ngaitahu. This was a significant unification between Otakou, Puketeraki and Moeraki as a unified body.
Well, it's a reflection of kotahitanga, or unity, but it's also recognising the historical backdrop to the name Ārai, which stems from the ancient voyaging waka named Ārai.
The waka has bound its memory generously across the local topography. These are ancient stories, passed down, repeated. The one Matapura Ellison tells on this occasion concerns those aboard Ep3, which finished its journeying in dramatic fashion at Matakaea, Shag Point, in a wreck. What happened to the crew? The hills have some answers.
There are a large number of hills, mountains, promontories on which the names of those survivors of the Ep3 waka wreck are placed. And the beauty of it is it's a reminder of that whole tradition, of course.
The familiarity of the names warms the landscape, constantly renewing connection with his tipuna.
It's also interesting, I think, incredible to think that there was only one casualty on the Ep3 when it wrecked at Matakaea, and that was Hipo, the sailing master, who kept the waka steady, so everyone else managed to get off the waka, but he was lost, and he was turned into a rock, still sitting on his waka, the Ep3.
The stories he is about to tell are pakiwaitara, or kōrero, he says, created to communicate some core messaging in a way that would remain interesting.
And so some of the narratives, some would say, were somewhat embellished, but also there was some uncanny likenesses in the actual physical geography which supported the kōrero. So people will make what they will of it, of course, but at the end of the day it was about conveying stories that they wanted to retain by future generations.
Ellison begins with Pakihiwitahi, one of the survivors of the wreck. The crew might have survived, but they were wet and cold and in unfamiliar territory. So after making a shelter, some were sent off to find and gather the resources they would need, with a warning to be back before nightfall. Pakihiwitahi set off in a northwest direction, back towards the Waitaki, where it is said he found an ipu, a bowl.
He found an ipu, it could hold water, and he found a hoaka, a grinding stone. It was really important to find these sort of resources.
As a result, his name is still associated with a hill in what has also come to be known as the Horse Range.
There are others who were said to have flown here and there. Again, that's probably just creating a bit of drama about the story.
One of them was Puketeraki, whose name now adorns the distinctive moka near Palmerston. She actually travelled further south and found firewood, which she tied into 2 bundles. One
tied together with kakahu, and the other with harakeka or flax. Now on the way back, she had taken her time, and on the way back she was overtaken by the darkness, and there she was, turned to stone in the landscape forever and a day, to this very day. The truth of that kōrero is bolstered by the fact that the bundle of sticks which she had, one tied together with kakahu and the other with flax, could be seen on the east side of the Puketeraki. One valley had harakeka all the way down it, and the other had toitū. So there you go. It bears truth to the kernel of that story.
Another of the crew, Aonui, was sent south and went as far as Tokomairaro Beach, east of Milton.
He must have hung around there a bit, blown me down. He was turned to stone as well, and there's a large basalt boulder on the beach, Tokomairaro.
Yet another of the voyagers dropped part of the resources he'd managed to collect as he made his way through what would become Ōtepoti Dunedin, and that became the city's town belt. He dropped some more as he approached Karitane, and that became the Puketeraki bush. And in his haste to return to the encampment before he lost the light, dropped a third part at Goodwood, sealing the forest there.
The twin sisters of Heikura are said to have been turned to stone, on the western horizon here, which you can see from Karatani, Tamariki Heikura, sometimes called the Sisters Peaks. And of course, Hikuroa or Mount Watkins is to the south of Tamariki Heikura.
Hikuroa is interesting also for the two names it now carries.
Prior to our settlement, we were looking to re-establish some of our older place names, and during the settlement process, one of our suggestions was to not to be the detriment of Reverend Watkins, but to uplift Hikuroa as a code name. That's how it stands today, Hikuroa Mount Watkins. But for me personally, I was very pleased to see Hikuroa, an ancient name associated with the Aotearoa Waka, brought to new prominence and another way of bringing his memory back to life again. And that's what I think that whole process was for, to rekindle rekindle the fires of knowledge and those associations on the landscape. We're still building our history, aren't we? And in our time, we will leave a layer, and those who are coming after us will leave their lens or their layer of associations in work and deeds for others of their ancestors to follow, to know about and to warm.
There was a further purpose in these traditions, one illustrated in the life of a more recent ancestor for Matapura Ellison, Te Matehaere, who is understood to have maintained a kaika at the north end of Waikouaiti Beach around Matainaka.
He was alive at the turn of the 18th century, and his name pops up through to about into the 1840s.
He made an annual expedition up through what is now called the Pig Route, into the Maniatoto, into the Manuhirikia, to maintain his ahika. There they would gather mahika kai during the summer before returning to the coast to winter over, or perhaps heading south to gather titi.
But yes, there are names up on what we call the Pig Route now, which are associated with Te Matehaere. His son Te Waipounamu, one creek just heading towards Dumback is called Te Waipunamu, named after his son, for example. And so that's how they put their names all the way on the creeks and on the promontories, and they would codify it in Waiata. It was their mind map, in the absence of a written map they could pull out of their pocket and refer to, but absolutely crucial to getting to where they needed to go.
In Aotearoa, the land speaks. It speaks through names, ancient, poetic, and powerful. Each name is a thread in the fabric of whakapapa, woven by generations who walked this whenua long before us. These are not just labels on a map. They are stories, they are memories, they are markers of identity, resilience, and belonging. This is a journey of rediscovery, a journey to honor the voices of the land, because when we speak the names, we awaken the stories. In the next episode of Toitū Te Whenua, we continue our kōrero of the stories of Puketeraki. This is Toitū Te Whenua. The land remains, and so do the names.